Hello, boxing fans. James Smith from In This Corner from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Boxing returns to prime time on NBC. Tomorrow night, Keith Thurman taking on Robert Guerrero. Adrian Broner taking on John Molina. Abner Mares also in action. And hopefully what this card will do, being back on primetime TV, is perhaps capture a new generation of boxing fans with premier boxing champions. Tell us, John, how did this come together? How did this deal come together?
Well, you know, it's been 30 years since NBC had boxing on in prime time, May of 1985. And we had dabbled in the business back in the early 90s, but really had kind of, I don't want to say, we never soured on the sport, we just soured on a lot of the nonsense that was around the periphery. And then Al Heyman and his team came to see us back in the fall of 2013 with a really creative idea that was very ambitious. And, you know, we talked about it and met on multiple occasions, and we had some ideas and some things that we needed to be sure of. And, you know, one thing led to another, and we created this joint venture that, quite honestly, I think is one of the most exciting things I've done in my professional career.
Why? Why do you think that?
Just because I know what a great sport it is. I know how good the people are who are the fighters and the athletes and whatnot, and I know the excitement that great boxing can bring. You know, we have a group of welterweights that we saw here earlier today that rival the welterweights of the late 70s, early 80s. And the fact that these guys are now all going to be fighting one another and that we're going to be able to provide this great platform is incredibly exciting.
So it feels like, I don't know, like a Super Bowl couple of months here coming up for the sport of boxing. Steve, you're here for this NBC primetime event, and Robert Guerrero and Keith Thurman, Adrian Broner and John Molina. First off, what do you feel about boxing back on prime time?
Well, I'm very excited by it. Those of us who've been in the game, who go back to the early 80s when boxing was on prime time every weekend, well, not on prime time, but on network TV every weekend, know what that does for fighters. This is a star sport, Smitty. You have to build stars. And boxing is the only sport in the world that takes its biggest product and shows it to its fewest people. No other sport does that. So this is exciting. And what I like about this also is the fact that I think they got the right fighters in the right fights. I think these are good fights, good fighters. You only get one chance to make a first impression. I think the impression is going to be a strong one.
The other things that a lot of people, I don't think, realize is that so many fights now don't begin until after midnight. So a lot of people want to stay up to watch and want to follow it, but they're dead tired by the time these fighters begin.
There's a lot more competition,
right,
too, you know.
And now the first fight Saturday night's going to begin before 9 o'clock at night, so that everybody can watch it. Kids can watch it, families can watch it together, and I think that that's a real secret weapon that we have, that so many people are now going to be exposed to the fight, and the quality of production and the quality of talent. Al Michaels hosting, Marv Albert doing play-by-play, Sugar Ray Leonard providing color, Layla Ali and BJ Flores in the corners. I mean, I'm really excited about what it's going to. And then on top of all of that, all the new technology that we're bringing to showcase it in high def, and then the music of Hans Zimmer. This is really going to be a spectacular production.
You know, we're here for this NBC card that's going to take place tomorrow, and I'm excited for boxing to be back on prime time. I think Al Heyman and NBC, they've done a great job with this, and hopefully we can have a next generation of fans in this country. We have a new heavyweight champion. What do you think about this prime time on NBC, and when will we see Deontay, hopefully? I know you're excited. Wouldn't you like to be on prime time?
Oh, most definitely. I think this is well overdue, you know, to be on free TV. You know, that's what a lot of guys like Sugar Ray Leonard, Boo Boo Manzini, all those guys was well known because of free TV, you know. I think when it came out to Showtime, HBO, and pay-per-view, you know, it kind of decreased the chance of fighters getting noticed out, because, like, my thing is, what about the lower class people that can't afford pay-per-view or cable and stuff like that?
A lot of those in the South where you come from.
Yeah, definitely. Back in the just all around, period. You know, just imagine back in the day, you know, most of the time fights just come on just regular TV. You know, you can just see it any time. And I think this is a brilliant idea to bring it back. Definitely, as far as the viewing point of view, it's more people with the NBCs than the show, which is Showtime and HBO. That's wonderful. I enjoy fighting on Showtime each and every time I'm on. It's a great experience. I love the people that work with it. But I'm definitely gonna look forward to gaining the viewing fans of NBC and everything else that's associated with it. I think this is huge for boxing, and this is huge for the fighters of boxing, for people to notice their champions or their up-and-coming fighters and different things like that. People can also, could be in their own home and cut it on and don't have to pay nothing and see a great fight.
We have 5 primetime fights. Our next fight after that is on June 20th, and then we'll have 2 more fights in the fall, and then we'll have 6 fights on NBC Sports on weekend afternoons, and we'll have another 9 primetime fights on NBC Sports Network. So all told, we'll do over 20 live PBC on NBC fights, and that's in addition to fights that are going to be on CBS, on Spike, on Showtime, on Bounce. I mean, I think it's going to be a tremendous package, and people are going to find this like that and are going to love it.
Because of the competition, what is it going to take for something like this, and what CBS and what Spike and obviously what you guys have been doing, what's it going to do to bring boxing back to the forefront, or is it even possible to do that?
That's a great question, and I think the answer to that is we can't have the same expectations we had in 1982. It's not 1982 anymore. You have much more competition for the entertainment dollar. When Ray Leonard fought in the Olympics, forget fighting as a pro, he was a superstar because he was on with Howard Cosell. The Olympics were on in primetime television. It's a different era today. There are a lot more channels. Boxing has to, the rating for this show, this NBC show, you can't expect it to, do 2.5 Men or a Big Bang Theory ratings. It's not going to do that. But it's a start, and you can build. And you can build stars, and that's what boxing's all about. The product has never changed, Smitty. A good fight is still awesome.
I realized when I was on the plane flying out here, and I looked at the date of our fight, March 7th, 2015, and I realized that almost 44 years ago to the day, March 8th, 1971, I grew up in Bethesda, Maryland, a suburb of D.C., and my dad surprised me, didn't tell me, took me to the, I think, Avalon Theater in Washington, D.C., that night to see Ali fight Frazier at Madison Square Garden, and my dad came with a bunch of his buddies, and they all took their kids who were my friends, and I just remember what an unbelievable experience it was. I mean, to be with my dad, but to see Ali Frazier and the excitement, and we're sitting in a movie theater. I mean, we're 250 miles away from New York City. But it was one of those connections that I had with my dad that, whenever there was a big fight, we would always try to get together to watch it. And I'm so excited that we get to be part of bringing it back.